They have the hard-hitting analysis.
I'm anti-injury, so maybe this won't work out.
Kyler's only playing one tight end this week, so that's probably going to help him out a lot.
They tell it like it is.
It's not what I needed, Grandpa Nut.
All right, the hipster fantasy player. I don't do anything.
Their listeners love them.
Found all your charts boring, to be frank. Caitlin was the star of the show.
They break down all the statistics.
20 points. That doesn't quite add up. Maybe had 93.
This is the Snick Snack Sports Podcast.
Here we. All right, Snickers, help me out.
What's going on, all you fantasy football fans out there? Welcome back to the podcast for week 2, season 4. Getting ready for football. How are we doing, Nate?
Great, Nick. How are you?
Doing great. Enjoying life. Got back from a nice wedding last night and did not get hungover. It was great.
Absolutely. A very fun wedding last night for our good friend Nick Sylvia, aka Ducky, a member of our league. And apologize for the delayed episode this week. It's all my fault. Had a bit of plumbing issue. Our another friend of the show, Shane, sent his brother to help us out. That's why we got a little bit of a hole in the ceiling back there. But it's all good now.
Ready
And
to
we're coming
go.
at you just a couple days late.
Yeah.
But we got a good show for you. We've got our chump number one, the chump, the chump-a-dump-dump. We haven't decided exactly what the worst chump should be called, but he's joining us on the show today. And looking forward to continuing with that new experiment.
Yeah. Super chump. Let's get ready to go.
But first, I guess, tell us a little bit about the news around the league, and then we'll dig more into the chump.
Yeah, we have a couple big injuries. I'm wearing my Vernon Davis jersey, who wore 85 for the 49ers. Do you know who else wore 85 for the 49ers, Nate?
Absolutely. Kyle
Well,
Juszczyk.
Kyle Juszczyk. But the answer is George Kittle, who is on his IR with a hamstring injury. So that was really rough. We got Brock Purdy, he's going to be out this week. John Jennings in the 49ers shoulder injuries, day to day. Got Drake London day to day with a shoulder. We got Brock Bowers with a knee. He's probably going to play. But you got Xavier Worthy, who got knocked out by Travis Kelce, which is, no offense to Xavier there, pretty funny when you're not a Chiefs fan. Jaden Reed got a broken collarbone last night in Thursday Night Football. And Austin Eckler, RIP, tore his Achilles, and it's going to be out for the rest of his career. We were talking about that a little bit last night. So some sad news at the end there, but apologize. Sunday night.
Yeah,
Sunday football's gonna be
hope it
fun.
isn't true, but it probably is. Austin Eckler is somewhere between 28 and 40, so his career is probably over.
Yeah, that's what they say.
So, yeah, I hope the best to him. Hopefully, he got made a lot of money this so far. Hopefully, there's still some more guaranteed money coming his way. I don't know. Um, but let's take a look at the standings this week. And you'll notice my head is not in the way this time. We have fixed that issue. But with the new format where 2 wins are up for grabs every week, we already have 4 2-0 teams.
Yeah.
We have Carson with off to a hot start, 2-0. We have Kenny, 2-0. The wedding man himself, 2-0, Ducky, and Katie. Meanwhile, myself, John, Kyle, and Shane are 0-2. Lost
Yeah.
both against our matchup and against the league average.
A little surprising there that some of you guys are so far down. The 1-1 teams are also pretty interesting because me and Matt won our matchups but lost against the league average, and Nick Adams and Kyler lost their matchup but won against the league average by just a couple points there.
Yeah, looking at it here, we could see that it was pretty tight actually in that middle area. The league average was 103 points last week. Pretty low for our league median, I guess we should say. I don't know what the league average was.
Yeah.
The league median was 103, and that's the key number. And funnily enough, so in our bet last week, we were betting on who the chump would be. And I said it would be Kyler. You said it would be Shane.
Yeah.
Kyler scored 103.48 points sixth place in the league, just above the cut, got the win against the league, we could say. And then Shane, 102.5 points, 1 point less, got him seventh place, got him the loss against the league for the week. So tough break for Shane, tough break for you at 101 points.
Yeah, no, I definitely take the 2-0 win over the point I'm getting against the Chump League here. But yeah, got the winner in the Chump League. Got a point there against our rivalry here. And our big chump, obviously we're talking about, we're gonna have him on in a second, is John with the huge 51 points there at the bottom.
Yeah, I'm interested to look a little more what happened there. His team didn't look that bad to me despite being an auto draft. Um, but the yes, nobody in the league we had, I believe, seven people fill out the poll if we count Ducky who did it on the show but didn't do it in the group. We're going to count that. But no one said John, believe it or not. I know
No.
John has historically struggled in the league, but everyone had faith in him this week, and he did not pull through. So
Yeah,
of
no.
course he'll continue competing in the league as everybody always does every year. But in the chump format, John is no longer up for consideration. Even if he is the lowest in the league again, that doesn't matter. He's not one of the picks.
Right. Yeah, and I think we have some pretty interesting picks this week, trying to either knock off our opponents or pick someone who we think is actually going to be really good the rest of the year and maybe has a bad week this week. It's kind of the same thing as the survivor pools in the NFL. You try and pick
Mhm.
the sexy pick and not the one that you think is probably most likely to happen. So, do we have
Yeah, so speaking
anything
of
you
which,
want to?
who is your chump pick?
My chump pick this week is, I believe, was choosing Nick Adams, who team is not looking super intimidating to me. I was going to choose someone else, but then they had one player I think that was going to be really well, and we'll talk about them in a little bit. But yeah, no one on his team right now is really scaring me, and so I think there's a good chance that he scores, 90 points. I think week one scoring is usually down across the league, historically. So I think everyone's going to bump back up to close to 100. But yeah, unless this one's going to come down to Monday night, so it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, and I know my eye when I saw your pick, Kenneth Walker, maybe consider his team too, because he was really um he did not perform well last week. Kind of his job is in jeopardy a little bit. And then so he's relying on Bucky Irving to run the running back core, and he was great last year, but I don't know if we can rely on him as a running back one.
Yeah.
Um, it's an interesting pick. I'm going risky. I think another friend of ours, Nick, the winning man, of course. I'm picking him.
Yeah.
He was third best scorer last week. He's 2-0 right now, but I think his team falls apart. Um, Jalen Waddle, Khalil Shakir. I don't trust those wide receivers. Um, Bijan, he's a strong pick. Lamar is a pretty up and down guy. I think Cleveland has potential to be pretty stout. And divisional games in that division tend to be low scoring, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So um, I think he's going to go from third to 11th or 12th and be
Hmm.
out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That's a good pick. I was looking at actually his opponent for um possibly Trump League, but we'll talk about this matchup in a little bit as well.
yeah, and then um, so in a minute here, we're going to have the chump himself on the show to talk about what happened this week in his matchup versus his rival match.
Yeah.
So please say hi to John, everyone. Hey, Bobby, or should I call you John? How are you doing?
Yeah, I prefer Bobby. I'm not doing bad. Meat snack, how are you?
Doing great. From what I hear, you have delayed a well-needed nap to join us on the show
Horribly
today, so we
needed.
appreciate that.
Yeah, for you, because I respect the pod so much.
Yeah, I think you've been one of our most insightful guests in past seasons, and so we're really looking forward to the insights you bring today. Um, And the first one I'm interested in is what happened.
What happened?
Yeah,
You're the
51
chump.
points.
So my players may have been asleep at the wheel. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. Initially, I thought my team looked all right, and they just did not perform. I think we all know what they look like, or what my team looks like when they aren't trying. I'm curious to see what happens this week when they actually put their A game in, because
Yeah.
they're all liable to be cut now.
Well, you did score 4.5 more points than you would have if you didn't take Rushy Rice out, so that's a good step in the right direction.
Huh.
But yeah,
Wait,
putting
wait,
all
wait.
those
League
Yeah.
guys on your
replacement
bench
got
started
me
to lighten it
four and a
up.
half points. That's it. See, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, that's what you
And
get
I
for the Giants running back.
Your signature, of course, is the three quarterbacks. It's been your key strategy for many years now. It looks like it kind of bit you in the butt here with your other two quarterbacks playing quite well. And meanwhile, so 29 points, 24 points, Joe Burrow, 8 points.
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow. I'm not gonna lie. What's hilarious about this is I was actually camping, so it auto drafted me three quarterbacks. So somehow the ESPN AI app knew my strategy and implemented it, I would say, flawlessly.
Yeah, that's your second
Yeah,
year in a row
AI is
auto
impressive
drafting
these
Caleb
days.
Williams.
Yeah,
So
it can read minds. What was that, Nick? Sorry.
it's your second year in a row auto drafting Caleb Williams. Maybe it's telling you something. Maybe you need to play Caleb.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's better than Burrow, it looks like.
Yeah, I noticed that you have Tootin on your team. And I feel like Tootin, I don't know how you drafted him. He's like a
Third
backup running
string.
back for the third string. And but he actually, I don't know if you know this, John, ended up being a great pick because the guy who was ahead of him got traded away, and now he is the new hotness. So
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's number
yeah,
two now.
See, this is where the AI for ESPN actually comes in. And what you may not know about my strategy is I actually last week was trying to use Chat GPT to do some research for me to see who I should spend all my money for the waivers to pick up. Went horribly. It's not there yet, but I
what
see.
do you mean, John? What did it tell you to do? Because you didn't pick up anybody.
I know. That's because it was giving me all this bad advice. At one point, I think it told me to get Jonathan Taylor because he was likely to be a good pickup. I'm like, yeah, of course he would be.
Well, you mean
He's on
because he's
like,
already on your team.
yeah, I know. That was kind of what I was laughing at, and the fact that like it's like I think it also recommended me. I forget who it was, but he's like, oh, this guy's good. 50% of the people draft him. It's like, well, in our league, if 50% of people draft him, it's very likely he's already taken.
Yeah.
There's a hard time distinguishing between like real diamonds in the rough as opposed to just like, oh, it's this player's decent, you should go after him.
Yeah, I think Jamar Chase is pretty good if you want to try and get him.
Yeah. Yeah, right, exactly.
Now, will Tootin be making your starting lineup this week, John?
So give me a little bit of background on Tune. Why are we thinking he should be in the starting lineup? Because it looks like his projected points are quite
Well,
low.
this was last week. Let's look to the next week. I have that on a different tab here. Um, so at the moment, if we're now looking ahead to your matchup versus Kenny, he is projected to get 4 points. That's up 0.8 points from his projection last week.
True, true, true. Now let's go take a peek at the current running backs on in the squad. Now you see these numbers here, Nate. They're a little higher. I mean, Jonathan Taylor can't do bad 2 weeks in a row, right? You'd think, you'd hope, you'd pray.
I, I mean, he tends to drop the ball when he's running into the end zone, so that does lower his score.
He did do
I
that
see.
once. Yeah.
But here's the thing, John, is
Yeah.
that if the game was about just putting together what ESPN thinks will be the highest score, AI would play this for us. You are not AI. You're better than AI, and you know when these projections are bogus, right? it thought that you should pick up Jonathan Taylor from the waiver wire. No, it thought you should play Jonathan Taylor over Bayshul Tootin. I say no.
I see. Hey, do you realize you're saying this on an online call where the AI overlords can't hear you? I think
Yeah,
you
we're
just outed
releasing
yourself.
the on an unrelated note, we are releasing the AI transcript of our podcast for all to read, so you don't have to listen to us talk afterwards.
Are you serious?
No,
Oh, okay.
It's news to
we are
me.
capable of doing that though.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you guys gotta get on Spotify too, so I can listen to it in the car.
You can listen to YouTube on the car.
I guess technically I can, yes. And by technically, I mean
There's
you
an
very
app for
much
that.
can.
Um, but yeah, so why will you be beating Kenny this week?
Why will I be beating Kenny this week? So my team was beat up last week. They have a lot to prove. Now, how did Kenny do last week? I can tell you, not as bad as I did, easily.
Kenny is currently 2-0 in second place in the league.
Yeah, so he's his team is they're fat and happy, and they think they're rolling on top of the world, and we're about to show them why that is not true.
You think Kenny's soft?
I think Kenny's soft. Yeah, I think the coaching is soft. I think the team is soft. Although Puka Nakua is awesome.
Yeah, I mean he's awesome, but he needs a good leader, wouldn't you say, to perform? And I don't know if we can call Kenny a good leader of fantasy men.
Yeah, that's a good point. When has he ever given a warm up speech to these people in person? I don't think he has.
Good point, John. Now, fortunately, you have the platform this week to give your own warm-up speech to your men.
Oh,
And what will you be saying to them?
yeah. So my speech would be it's a little grim and dark. It's you need to perform, boys. You got 1 week to prove yourself, or you're out. You're all out. Jonathan Taylor might be on the waiver wire for the first time ever. That will hurt his fantasy stats, I'm sure. The echoes of me dropping him from my team will be heard by his press team, and then ultimately he will hear this. And I think his reputation will be damaged, and he does not want that. So I expect a 50-point game from him in particular. Joe Burrow, same thing. It's atrocious. Atrocious, Joe. That two people on my bench, other two quarterbacks, were outperforming you. You were the top pick, and you just did not perform whatsoever. So just
That
shape
is
up.
very inspirational.
Yeah. It's tough love.
Um,
Tough love, Nate.
I think you have a lot of leverage in this day and age when football contracts in the real NFL rely very heavily on the percentage of rostership in fantasy leagues.
Yeah, you're right. Although I bet you it's not like I don't know, it's not influential at all. Like with all like sports betting going on with DraftKings and stuff, it might have some impact if you get roster or not. You have everybody looking at you.
Yeah, and Jonathan Taylor is one of the NFL players that doesn't hold fantasy in disdain. A lot of them don't like it at all, but he is one that's leaned into it quite a bit.
You think you do better? Do you think you perform for the fantasy points then?
Yeah.
Like I
No,
don't even think.
I was kind
Sorry,
oh,
no,
go
go
ahead.
on. No, you go ahead.
I was kind of joking, but in the world where sports betting is becoming so dominant, I can see I would actually not be that surprised if like the popularity in the fantasy world did play into contract size, just because it's also if they're on more fantasy teams, more people are watching the games for that player and all
Yep.
that kind of thing.
I completely agree with you, and that's where I think I can influence them. I mean, I'm only a small percentage, but I'd say it's the most important percentage, especially for my quarterbacks. If my three quarterbacks can't perform, I mean, it really just influences the slot as a whole. So I think the NFL is going to get behind my team in particular.
Hmm. Speaking of getting behind your team, John, no one chose you to be the chump last week, so that's I think a hat in your cap there, feather in your
Woo!
cap. That being said, you are the chump last week.
Okay.
So you're not eligible for Trump voting anymore, but if Nate pulls up just the full standings or full scoreboard here, we've already made our Trump picks for the week. Who
Okay.
do you think is going to be the lowest scoring team this week outside of possibly you?
Outside of possibly me, I'm going to go with Where's the moon?
Mm. Popular pick
Yes.
last week.
What?
Shane was a popular pick last week, and he was 0-2, so it's a good chance that he's going to lose again.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, there are actually a couple different layers of competition going on here, John. I don't know how much you know about the new chump kind of side competition, but of course, you want to be the only one to be unchumped on week 12. But you also, if you pick the chumps the most correctly, there's kind of and then a third tier of competition. So
Oh.
if Shane ends up being the chump this week, you score a point.
Oh, all right. Okay. Now, what do I vote for Chump?
We're going to release a poll, but the fact that you've said it on the show means that your vote already has been counted.
Okay. All right.
Um, yeah. So, and Snickers, tell me about your match of the week.
Yeah, my matchup of the week is actually the Kyler Ducky matchup that we were talking about earlier, the number 6 one there. I was going to pick Kyler for a Trump this week, but I saw that Christian McCaffrey is on his team and everyone else on the 49ers is out this week. So I think Christian McCaffrey is going to score 300 yards. And I think 70 points from Christian McCaffrey is probably enough to get him not chumped at least, possibly the win here. You were talking about Ducky's team that's not looking super good. Top of the ticket, Lamar and Bijan, or Bijan, I should say, sorry, are kind of the only ones on Ducky's team there. And outside of CMC, Kyler's team is, you know, decent at best. I was definitely trying to get Tyler Warren on my team, but yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty competitive matchup. Probably about 100 points each. Hopefully, they both blow the league average here.
Yeah, and again, I think that they are Ducky's about to get chumped, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Who do you think wins this one, John?
Yeah, I'm actually who yeah, I'm on Kyler's side. If you have Ramondre on your team, you have a soft spot in my heart.
Yeah,
I hope they pull it off.
Yeah, great points. Ramondre Stevenson, because John is a very strong Patriots fan, never misses a game, and likes to see the home team win.
Yeah.
the home team this week is Miami, so that actually fits in line with John being a big Kyrie fan.
I mean, I am a huge Kyrie fan.
Yeah. But Nate, who are you picking this week in your matchup to watch here?
So I am looking at the matchup between Matt and Carson. This is Carson's hottest start in his
Ever.
time in the league. Although he has started hot before. I think it was either last year or 2 years ago that he had a good start to the season.
Yeah.
Um, but coming out and being the anti-self, if you will, the high score in week one against Matt, who's trying to bounce back. Matt is actually favored in this game, despite being in eighth place.
Hmm.
He's also got our hometown team, Drake May, the quarterback, starting. Kind of excited to see what goes on there. Um, but he's getting bolstered by the news that Travis Etienne is now the sole member of the backfield in Jacksonville. So that'll be an exciting watch. May be able to outscore his projection. Brian Thomas needs to bounce back. Um, CeeDee Lamb did okay, but he certainly could do better. And Ricky Pearsall is the whole wide receiver core for San Francisco. And
Yeah.
meanwhile, yeah, I guess Carson's team comes down to will the Bills continue to be a massive offense like they were last week? Not every team is the Ravens can keep up with them and force them to score that many points.
Yeah. It's actually really impressive that Carson took Jamar Chase 1 overall, and Jamar scored what, 6 points last week, and he was
Yeah,
still able to score 130 points. That's obviously because of the Bills and Ravens game. There's Zay Flowers, the number 1 wide receiver on the week, but yeah, this is definitely gonna be a fun one to watch.
yeah. Meanwhile, Cooper Kupp is on his bench. And maybe times have changed for that guy. I see he's got 8 points on the projection, but he was, one of the best receivers in the league for a long time. And I think that could still happen. It's not expected to happen, but he might have a star wide receiver in his hands
Yeah.
that could really put his team over the top. Um, so yeah, that's my pick. Who wins this one in your opinion, John?
Yeah, so a lot of times with fantasy sports, you don't pick based off of the players. You got to pick based off of the team name. And Enduro season really just it's just speaking to me. I mean, yeah, they beat me last week, but with uh with vision such as Matt Bloody has to name his team Enduro season, I believe he can lead his team to victory in a way that Carson really just is unable to.
Hmm.
Yeah, speaking of which, John, so last week was the rivalry matchup. Of course, this year there's official league rivals. Um, as we were able to suss out the kind of the hatreds that run deep in our league. And your rival is Matt. He did beat you. But your rivalry is about a shared love for things that aren't fantasy football, and in fact, skipping fantasy to do them. Um, and what will you be doing this year instead of fantasy football every week when we bug you to set your lineup?
Yeah. Uh, what will like as a punishment? So I like the idea of some sort of punishment, not only for your rival, like losing to your rival, but also if you're in last place in the overall standings. I think that's kind of interesting and fun.
Mhm.
I like something a little active personally for a rivalry, so I'd be down for some type of race, whether it be like a half marathon, something's like a not fun race to do. That's kind of what
I
I would pick.
I actually heard through the grapevine that you are so committed to the rivalry punishment that you've already signed up for a triathlon tomorrow because of your loss.
True, you know what, Nate? True. It's going to be a brutal race. As we talked today, I am exhausted. I need to recuperate, and really, my
Hmm.
loss is putting me in a bad mental state. So hopefully, I can pick it up and we can get the what's it, week 14 win.
Yeah. And hopefully they mark the course well so you don't run the wrong direction.
Yeah, I've done it a few times.
Yeah, well, if you do run off a cliff or something, Matt will have had his right revenge, or I guess punish or reward for having beat you and set you
Yeah,
up for failure in this way.
yeah,
Uh,
true.
Hmm.
so well done, Matt, of signing John up for a surprise triathlon that I think he had no awareness of until today when we told about it on the show.
True.
Yeah.
Or
Also,
at least not 2 weeks ago.
yeah, definitely. And speaking of punishments, Nate, I know me and you are, competitors, rivals in this league, and you're gonna be filling your punishment in next week's show live, you think?
Um, I that is the plan. We have talked about eating peppers. Me and Snickers do like hot things, but eating a whole pepper is still quite challenging. I'm committed to doing it on the show as a punishment for my loss in last week's rivalry matchup. So yeah,
Do you think it'd be fun to do it at the beginning of the show so you have to talk the whole rest of the show, or do you want to do it at the end of the show so you can just fall asleep afterwards
I think that the beginning of the show probably will be the best for the our viewers.
for the views? Yeah.
That's bold. What type of pepper? You should eat a ghost pepper.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm committed to eating a Carolina Reaper. Um,
Are you really?
no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Mo.
I think we had said
I think
jalapeno, but if you get a Carolina Reaper, then I'm going to be doing all the talking, and that's kind of punishment on me, but that's
I
fine.
I'll probably
Have
go
you
for
seen the
the
show with the?
which
Oh
one?
no, sorry, Nate, go on, bud.
Which show are
Oh,
you talking about?
it's like the Cheese Wheel show. The Cheese Wheel show where it's like narrated by Rainey Wilson or the guy from The Office.
I have not seen it.
uh, where it shows like random competitions, and one of them is the pepper eating competition.
Mm.
And man, those ghost peppers or Carolina Reapers look legitimately pain. Like it looks like you're destroying your internal just
Yeah.
like stomach. It's crazy. You
You got
should
to
do
start snapping in your ears to get the pain out of there.
it.
I had not heard about
I'll
that
buy it,
strategy.
Nate, for you.
I have heard that people often will go to the hospital after eating one of those because they're worried that they've done something, and usually they haven't. Besides maybe having a little trouble breathing. But yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
quite there. It'll probably be a jalapeno. Those are still pretty uncomfortable to eat one. Um,
You have a superhero stomach. I believe in you.
Me too. Like I said, I'll fund it, Nate. If you want that Carolina Reaper, hands down, I'll find one for you. I don't know where to get them, but
I'll have to
I
look
got a
into
week.
it. Um, and now as we close out the show, I was thinking that we would be doing a live performance of our theme song today because we can't get the recording to work. So I hope you're ready, John and Nick,
Okay.
to perform Big Rock live.
God, what?
But
Sure, I don't know the lyrics though.
there's no lyrics; it's an instrumental song.
Oh, okay.
Um, but yeah, thanks for joining us today, John, to talk about your shame of being the super chump, the
Okay.
chump most loserist, and
Okay.
we'll see you all next week.
See you next week. Thanks for
John,
having me on.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
you're playing with the
Dun,
drums.
dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun,
All
Do,
right,
do,
dun.
take
do,
care.
do, do,
Bye.
do.